It's time we talk to the filmmakers behind Lady Outlaw. Hey, Brett and Lisa, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
We're talking today to the Lady Outlaw filmmakers, Brett William MAUSER and actress Lisa BUTALA. I hope they pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell me about Lady Outlaw.
Well, Lady Outlaw started when we did a movie called Oldest Posse. I've always been interested in the Old West characters, the Western characters who haven't had their story told. Back in 2009, we had come across Bass Reeves, and at that time, no one had done anything about Bass Reeves, so we made a movie about that. And so I love the Butch Cassidys and the Billy the Kids, but everyone had already told stories about them. So I always keep an eye open for those characters in the Old West and historical figures that haven't had their story told. And when I shot Oldest Posse, I was looking for a female outlaw to be within the group. My first curiosity was, well, were there any female outlaws? And I was surprised to find there was if you Google it, there's like a top 10 list of them. And Rose Gunn was probably one of the most interesting ones, and had a lot of mystery surrounding her. Did she do this? Did she do that? Conflicting, reports. So it was just very interesting to me. So I put that character in, and I didn't really have any necessarily aspirations to do anything fully on her, and Lisa played the role. There was one moment where she just did this acting bit, this little acting moment where she just reacted to this stabbing that was just stuck out in my head. And I said, oh, this is a fantastic actress. I've got it. I think I see this character going somewhere. So I did the research, and Lisa helped out with the script. We were in pre-production. I think the longest time I've ever been in pre-production on a movie. And really fine-tuned the script. And this was really kind of one of the first times that I had a woman kind of help write the script and whatnot. So she was able to bring some of that romance that I'm not really good at into the film. And so it was just it was us just trying to pay a lot of respect to this character and tell the world about what she had done and what she had accomplished.
So Lisa, from bit part to leading role, and how are you, Brett mentioned that you were more involved. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I had always dreamed of being able to be with a production from the very start, because usually as actors we get the script and that's our character. So to be able to take her from creating her in Oldest Posse and Brett wrote an amazing first draft of the script, to seeing how this character grows while staying historically accurate. And then as I kept working on her, more and more ideas came to mind that I brought up to Brett. Say, hey, I think she would do this. I think this is maybe a way this story would go, and whatnot. So it was really special to be able to go from, okay, this is a character that has maybe 5 lines, she's just here to support the other ones, to really developing her, who she is, and her in the settings around her. So it was very special to be there right from the beginning, to really not only become her, but to help bring her story to life in more ways than one.
Let's take a look at the trailer and we'll talk about it on the other side. Here we go. The trailer for Lady Outlaw.
Just lay there and die. Stand and live. It's your choice.
Thought you taught your sister how to survive out here. You taught her to make her way. Just go home, girl. Nobody wants you here.
What's this world coming to when women take the outlaw?
Well, I would just stay clear and let people like you and me be.
Only reason you're safe out here is because of men like me and Dalton.
And George.
Sounds like maybe you think some people ain't so bad after all.
He's there, Tom. Oh, sorry. Is he your sweetheart?
What? No. When we head back to Oklahoma, I'm gonna take my leave up in Anadarko. Head back home.
You been away from your kitchen too long?
It ain't about her bounty. It's about her choices.
You said they'd be crazy to follow us.
Speaking of crazy, so either you want to tell me how we come to be in this fix?
Oh, yeah, I killed a man. That rotten son of a bitch hadn't stolen my $300. He'd still be alive right now.
Bill Dalton, George Newcomb, There are 14 U.S. Marshals in the streets of Ingalls.
Ain't nothing out here wants you to live. It all wants you dead.
You will always know you don't belong with them. Out here in the wild, that's where you'll belong. Alone. Now you remember that, Dunn. You remember it next time you think about killing someone. I'll save them.
Are you done?
Not yet.
An outlaw, a hero, a soiled dove, whatever the hell she is, it's gonna be a hoot.
Was muted for a second.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. I was left speechless. I was muted. Sorry about that. I want to know the real history of this character and what intrigued you to tell that story. And I agree with you. There's so many stories that we know of the Old West, but there are so many untold stories. What was it about this untold story that attracted you?
Well, she had always been she'd been known as the Rose of Cimarron, and nobody really knew how to name a full name to go with it until the actual woman had passed. And there was the rumor that she was in the Battle of Ingalls, and she was romantically involved with an outlaw named George Newcomb. And in the middle of a gunfight, she ran into the middle of the street to throw him a gun because he had run out of ammo, or his rifle had been broken. And then the marshals, their story didn't include her. So there was just this big legend and myth around her. And when she passed, her husband had said, well, she was never romantically involved with an outlaw, because she got out of outlawing and she lived to a ripe old age, had some kids. And so we wanted to be able to bring some romance into it, but still honor her final wishes that she said she wasn't involved romantically. So we just kind of hinted at it. We didn't want to go too far, and we wanted to pay her respect to her final wishes. And then there was the death of the outlaw George Newcomb. There was always a question because her brothers became bounty hunters for a while, and they were the ones that killed the outlaw. So there was always question: was Rose involved? Did she tip off her brothers? Didn't she? So that was another thing that we had to try and figure out in the movie, was to skate that history, to make it interesting, but to not clearly define exactly what happened because we didn't know, and kind of give it an out. You could go one way or the other. And that was the fun aspect of it. But I think what intrigued me was the so many questions, and I mean, that's what myths are, and that's what legends are. Is you get to kind of choose what you believe actually happened.
Yeah. What I mean, there were guns on the set. Lisa, you work with guns. That's become a hot button thing now. A lot of productions use digital blanks instead of actual gunfire. How did you deal with the guns? And there are lots of rules around it. I made a movie once where we had guns. There is a lot at play. Can you talk a little bit about that and dealing with the guns?
Yeah, absolutely. We started out shooting in Mescal, a movie set out in Arizona, and we had an armor. First thing when we got there, he checked out all the guns. We didn't use blanks for this one. We used the digital effects, which Brett's really great at. So there, we didn't have that necessarily, but we had all the safety precautions still. He checked them out, and whenever we were dealing with them out in Texas and Sabinal, we were always very careful. Brett's really good at keeping safety on set. So yeah, it was interesting to have the gun. It looks so real, but at the same time, no, okay, it doesn't actually fire. So you're just pretending and just being safe.
Yeah. Anything to say about that, Brett? Because, we've seen, obviously, with the Alec Baldwin
Right.
all of that. I
Mhm.
mean, that, with
Yeah,
film rust, I mean, that really, and the I could not tell. I think the digital, a lot of times people like to brag, but I couldn't tell from watching your trailer.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I've shaken my fist at Baldwin a couple of times because now they require, you go to a set, you have to have an armor on set.
Right.
They won't let you rent the property, and it is a little, it bums you out a little bit because we use Denix pistols. I mean, they have the weight and the feel and everything of them, but you couldn't even, they're bored up. You can't
Right.
even get a blank in them. I do have blank pistols. And we've used them before on like Lady Outlaw or Lady Lawman, but it's time consuming, and you have to put the earplugs in, then you have to erase the earplugs in post. So it does get kind of, it does make it easier and less time consuming. On the other side of that, there is something about actually having that report and the actor feeling that happened. But at this stage of the game where we are with our budget, it's just best to play it safe and make sure that no one's getting no one's getting harmed. And I've had instances with that before where actors can you put, even if it's a fake gun, they get this power thing in their hand, and they may be scared and so nervous one moment. Okay, I'll be very gentle with it. I turn back around, and they're like, "Hey!" and they're waving it around to everybody on set.
No, yeah,
It's like, oh, I learned that early on. So yeah, you have to just just do your best. I mean, even when we're using the airsoft pistols, I come up, and when I'm handing it to them, I slide out the magazine and show them that it's empty, not even any BBs in it or anything. And then pull the slide back, show them, say clear, hand it to them, they check it, and we teach our actors to do that and go through that process. And we've done that for years.
What is the fascination with Westerns? I mean, I feel like there's a resurgence now with the Kevin Costner Horizon series of films. Like Westerns just, I mean, they say, oh, the Western's dead. It never died. It only just hibernates a bit, and then you see it throughout. Look at the last like 30-40 years. There's a Westerns that, and I think it's more popular than ever now. It's classic American storytelling.
Yes. And I think I think, believe it or not, one way that Westerns go hand in hand with sci-fi in one reason, because you have different time periods and you can investigate social issues without being in your face about it.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be too on the nose. And when you set it outside of contemporary times, whether it's in the future in a sci-fi aspect or the Westerns, in the past, you don't insult people. You don't get them going, oh, here we go again.
Lectures. People don't like lectures.
Yeah. And that's something
like stories that have social, commentary. Commentary is great. Lecturing, not so much. But
yeah. And how awesome is it to watch somebody gallop across a field on a horse? I mean,
yeah. But I mean, I look at your company website, and here it says right up front, the home of non-woke films, now on Amazon, Tubi, and other streaming services.
Yes.
I mean, that's, I think that's, you say it right up front, not so sane entertainment.
Yes.
And then there's even, you've got a web page specifically for the movie. I have it here, right here. Yeah, with the, wow, look at that graphic there. Good thumbnail on your thing, Lady Outlaw.
Well, credit goes
nice.
Credit goes to Lisa on that one, because we had just some pictures of the on set and whatnot, and I just threw some pictures together, and she's like, no, we need a really good poster. So it's because of her inspiration and her her devotion to the project that made us push ourselves to do something incredible. So
well, I mean, yeah, I will say this, you got to get, you're in character, in wardrobe. You got to get those photos when you can. That's an important thing. Like with filmmakers, I tell them, schedule your poster photo shoot during production. When you're in wardrobe, you've got the set, which is production value. You've got your actors and makeup, and that's when you get your marketing materials.
Oh, we learned the hard way. Yeah, we learned the hard way many years ago, 20 years ago, when we sold our first film, Barrio Angels, to Blockbuster, and the distributor said, okay, send us your materials and send us your photographs. And we're like, what photographs?
Right,
So
right.
we had to bring everybody back to do a photo shoot for it. So we learned the hard way.
And they may have a different haircut.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like it's such a simple thing. Like, get your set photos, get your poster photos or DVD sleeve photos, and everything you need to market the movie. It's a critical part.
Yes.
So, what's up next
Absolutely.
for you guys? What's up next for you guys? It seems like you've got. I mean, you've been doing this now how many decades?
30 now.
So 3 decades of films. I mean, it's quite a legacy. Like, what's up next? What's next on the slate?
We've got a couple things. That's the one great thing about being an independent is I don't have to have somebody over my head saying, you can't make this film or you shouldn't do this. We can do a very serious, very, cinematic film like Lady Outlaw, and then turn around and do a serial rabbit movie. And no one's going to say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, we just finished see, we really want that WTF award that you guys give. So
award this. So much fun.
So we just finished a movie called Pro Bono, which is it's a detective movie in the era of Sam Spade, but the main detective is a Halloween skeleton. So we were actually pupping him around, and that's going to be coming out soon. And there's a couple books that came into public domain this year that we really want to do. And then later this year, we'll be doing a spy thriller with Lisa.
Well, tell me my last question. Tell me about how do you remain consistent? I mean, 3 decades of churning out films. You've been through the different distribution eras. You know how much the business has changed.
Oh yeah.
To be in business this long, this is, I mean, a couple other companies I can think of is like Charlie Band with Full Moon,
yes.
and Lloyd Kaufman with Trauma. I mean, you really need to be able to pivot and always be making movies. How have you remained so consistent?
Well, fortunately, in one way, we don't, because we get better, we improve, we learn, we move forward, and we just continue to grow. I do remember when Blockbuster, when we started selling to Blockbuster and others, we were on the cusp. The Blockbuster president knew who we were, and we were thinking, this is it. And then they circled the drain, and Netflix took it all away, and we had to start from scratch and move forward that way. So we learned our lesson. We've worked with a lot of distributors, been screwed over by a lot of distributors, so we know the pitfalls. And now it's so easy to distribute yourself and be able to survive. That's just sort of the route we've gone, and it allows us to be more free and more creative and not have to have things over our heads. But yeah, fortunately, I'd say that we do continue to grow. I mean, you can look at our films, just 3 years ago, and we've gotten so much better, than it used to be. Because I used to be, when it came to lighting, people would say, Brett, how's the lighting? I said, can you see the actors? Yes. And that was all I cared about. Now I'm painting with the light.
Great. And Lisa, what's up next for you? You guys collaborating on something new?
Yeah, we're collaborating on that spy thriller, and then I'm actually writing my first short film to direct. So I'm giving directing a shot. It's actually a Western, so staying in that realm.
Love it. That's great. Congratulations to you both, Lisa and Brett.
Thank you.
And check out the website. It's notsosane.com for all your movies, and Lady Outlaw is on there as well, all the information. This has been great. I feel like this is very inspiring. You know what I mean? Like, you can there are people that talk. Look, I'm in Pasadena, close to LA, where everyone talks. You guys are doing it. So I commend you.
Well, thank you.
Great. All right. Take care.
You too.
You as well. Thank you.